Welcome to Wednesday Wellness, where we do health-related topics to be well, get well, and stay well. Biohack your body for an optimal life, to feel better and do more.
All right, all y'all. Can't believe we're at the last Wednesday of 2020, right? Crazy, crazy year. For those of you, this is your first time, I'm Dr. Brett Brimhall, and you're part of the Wellness Wednesday we call, where we help people get well, stay well, and be well. And we're going to focus a lot on what can help set you up for the new year today. A lot of us are here are part of a company called LifeVantage, which is a nutrigenomic company with the focus on helping to activate our body's ability to heal and repair. So we're grateful that you're here. And if you're listening to this on the replay, this is a good one to go back to and revisit to set yourself up for whether you're starting a brand new year or whether you're going to start yourself a new week. All right. So I'm going to share my screen with you so I can kind of share some really cool things that I want you to, this is one I want you to take a screenshot of because I want you to do some homework. It's always nice to go to school. It's even better to learn from school. And so I hope that you guys get a couple pictures of these things and just go home and do the homework and to set yourself up for success. There's one thing that I remember I was really excited about the new year because I was like, oh, 2020, it's really cool. It's like perfect vision, right? I'm thinking this is a perfect year to set up the situation where you really get a perfect vision of what your life can look like. I was truly excited about 2020, perfect vision, right? But the reality is that 2020 gave me perspective on what can create a more perfect picture of what I want life to look like, right? So most of it had 2020 really kind of see what was most important. I would encourage each of you to do this as a homework, is to go back and see what you learned from 2020 that maybe you wouldn't have learned any other way. What did you learn that from this last year that really has made you value some things that maybe we took for granted? Because I think that's what 2020 has done for me. It gave me a chance to look at what really mattered to me in my life, what I valued most, my family, my health, my relationships in a nutshell, and my freedoms. So it's really gave me perspective in that way. So I hope that as you go forward into 2021, or even just starting a new week, is to start with something like this, because 2020 has been an interesting year, full perspective. And most people at the beginning of a year, they kind of look back over their past year and they set some goals, right? Or they set some plans of what they want to accomplish. So we're going to talk about more, what's your plan of action to accomplish the things you want to accomplish, right? So typically, they're surrounded around three things when it comes to any one of us trying to set a new thing up. And typically it's founded around health and wellness of some kind, like achieving a goal, whether that's a certain weight or a certain physical accomplishment. It's also surrounded by, looking at changes of relationships. And that could be, unfortunately the first Monday of January is known as Divorce Monday, right? Because we're going to get through the holidays, right? And then I'm going to do something about it. I look back over my last year. So if it's in relationships, and then it can be the third one typically surrounds around finances, right? So that's typically what happens with all of us. We kind of look, okay, what do I want life to look like going forward? So when you look at this chart, it's called the circle of life. But I want you to rate where you are. All right, where you are when it comes to where you currently are right now. And for you, maybe, hey, at your family, you're 10, you feel like, hey, I'm really at a good spot there. Your mental state, maybe it's a 2 or 3. Maybe financially, it's a 11. Maybe spiritually, it's a 10. Maybe career, right? So just kind of jot where you are, and you can literally mark it, and then you can draw a line around your number where you're at. And this is just where you're starting. Right, this is where we're starting. And as you look at that wheel, so me personally, all right, so I look at where I am currently today, what I'd have to look at my physical, I'd rate myself, unfortunately, at a 5, right? Not where I would want to be, all right? My family, I'd probably rate around a 7. My mental stuff, probably around a 7. Financially, probably like an 8. Spiritually, probably like a 7. My career, I'd say probably like an 8. My personal, maybe more like a 7, right? So I've got, you can see my physical, I want to put some effort into this. So I have already for this year, put a plan of action for me to take. So I've already written my goals out for the year, and really my goals, but really it's more of what I want to feel at the end of the year. So I would encourage you to look at not necessarily the goal, but what do you want to feel at the end of the year? So I'll be a little personal here, and that one of my specific things I want to feel at the end of the year is that my kids look at me with pride in what I've been able to accomplish. And specifically, I have written out with each. I have 4 kids, and I have specific things next to my kids of what I want to hopefully focus on helping them feel. So my one son, it's confidence in self. You know, one of my other kids, it's more of developing some grit, right? Another one is self-confidence, right? So that's just for me, what I'm trying to help put some effort into helping them accomplish. With me physically, that I have specifically written out. I've actually chosen to hire a couple coaches for myself this year to help me develop some in my career, and also in my personal growth. Now, I'm not saying that's what you need to do. All I'm saying is that if you're in a spot where you don't want to be, it's probably just because, not because you don't want it, and probably not because you're not hungry enough for it, is maybe you just don't have the skill sets to have that yet. So I want to develop that personally in myself. So what I'm asking you to do is, no matter when you're watching this, to assess where you are, and then let's make a plan of action going forward. So here at Wellness Wednesday, I truly believe, like, I want to help people physically get well, stay well, and be well. But I also understand that a lot of reasons why maybe we aren't physically where we want to be is because we aren't where we want to be emotionally. And so sometimes we use food as our coping strategy. Anybody ever done that? Never, right? Nobody ever uses food. Or something else. Okay, a habit maybe that's not ideal, that's robbing you of your health too, because you're not happy in your area of finances. So whatever it is for you, I want you to look at that and say, okay, I'm going to put some effort into that. So, and what that can be, let's just say that it's financial. Like, you want your goal, like, I know why I'm struggling. I eat food that I don't want to do, is I get bummed out about what I am financially, right? So that's where you need to put some attention. Right? Read some books, collaborate with certain people, right? That are successful, because you are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with most when it comes to how they view the world, how much money they make, and also how healthy you are. You're typically somewhere in the middle of your 5 people you associate with the most, right? So just that's a key thing that you want to look at, because if you want to change any one of these spots in your world, you're going to want to spend some time looking at who are you hanging out with when it comes to, if your goal is physically fitness, you want to look at maybe who you're hanging out with, right? The other day I went for a hike, and on my way back down, I ran into 4 guys that I've known for years, all hiking, right? And when I lived in that area, I used to exercise with these guys all the time. And if I didn't show up, I'd hear about it all day on text. So that's the accountability part, right? And it felt so good to see these individuals again, because even though I haven't seen them in probably 6 years, personally, I've texted them here and there. It was good to remember that's what got me started in some of my habits. So what we want to do here on Wellness Wednesday, especially this next month, and here's what we're going to do. We're putting a lot of focus on really getting well physically, and specific, it's going to be tied around, we're going to, obviously weight loss is going to be part of that, but becoming physically more fit is part of that. All right. And so I've already had some conversation with several people. They're going to be part of the Wellness Wednesdays. I want to kind of give a sneak peek, because what I've learned is a lot of people aren't getting the results they want physically because they're eating foods that are actually bad for them. And they might be good foods. They might be reacting to them. So I've asked a friend of ours that she's going to come on one of these Wednesdays, and she's going to spend time talking about foods and even food allergies and how that may be robbing you of the weight goal you have. All right, and give you some tools and some solutions you can do to work around those. I've got somebody that's going to come out and talk about exercises, and no matter who you are, the exercise you can start doing. I'm going to spend one of those weeks talking about the emotions and way you can work on the emotions to work on the food choices. So those are all super powerful for each one of us individually. So here's what I want you to do. This is literally your homework. So if you look at this and this is another perspective of that same thing, is to rate yourself where you are But also you might look at that and say, well, I really don't care about finances. It's not that important to me. Well, even though maybe won't be, it's not exactly what you want it to be, it's just not that important to you. You're not going to have success because it's just not that important to you. So you want to choose not only with what your goal, what your overall focus is, but like, what do you really want? And what you might find is that, hey, if I was more physically fit, if that was your top priority, well, you might find then that other things might matter more. So you do the things that matters the most to you because there's more energy behind that. All right, make cool sense. So that's the focus for this next few weeks. So here is your homework. Your homework is literally to do this exercise. It's to do this exercise, right? And to set yourself up for success. And what I mean by that is so that's one of that is choosing your mentor. And that can be a book, it can be audio cassette, it can be anything, but choose your mentor and then choose your accountability partners. All right. So if it's physical fitness or if it's, career goal or family goal, whatever it is, you choose your accountability partner. So for instance, one of my accountability partners are my kids. So I'm sharing these goals with them of what I want to help them accomplish and see if I can get a buy-in with them. Okay. So whatever your accountability partners are. So in business, I have a lot of accountability partners that we meet once a week, right? And we work together to accomplish certain things. So I have my accountability partners there. In exercise, I have a couple of accountability partners. If I don't show up to play basketball, I get text all the time, right? So there's those accountability. And plus, if you shoot for a goal, like I want to go. So I'm going to go hiking with my brothers here in a few weeks. And so I'm hiking extra right now. Why? Because I don't want to be the guy that's left behind and get harassed. So you've got to make it more painful not to accomplish the thing that you want than to not accomplish it. So that's just how my mind works. All right. So let's just say that you had a goal of losing X amount of weight. All right, whatever it might be. And it's going to take doing these things to get there, whatever it might be. Or did you make it more painful not to accomplish your thing than otherwise? So those are just a couple key things that you can do. And then every Wednesday, guys, this next month, we're going to be meeting here, having conversations around the focus of health and wellness. But one of them is going to be based on food, right? Food sensitivities that you might have that are robbing you of your health, which will tie directly into gut health. Another one, again, is going to be the emotional impact. And those are going to be like exercise. So each one of those will tie in directly to all these things, but especially when it comes to health and wellness. But your homework is please do this. Choose your accountability partners that you want to work with and really dig into what would it feel like when you accomplish that task. It's the feeling that will drive you, both from a positive and a negative. Right? So for me, my words were, my kids will look at me with pride when I've accomplished because I made this decision, because that's important to me. Right? So whatever that might be, maybe it's, a goal of travel, but make it to where you feel it. All right. So if you'll do this, then they no longer become goals. They become a process that you're moving towards. Super, super important, because I want you each to develop, because no one's ever at 100% in all of these. Never, ever, ever, ever. It just does not happen. All right. But you can move the needle on all of these by focusing on the one that mattered most to you and then working on the other ones too. And be real with yourself. I'm reading a book right now. It says, Can't Hurt Me. And I'm trying to think what he called it. It's like, I think the accountability mirror. He called it the accountability mirror. And this guy's a Navy SEAL, right? So what he does is he puts sticky notes with his goal on his mirror, and he is like a drill sergeant to himself. So he said, look, I probably said, like, if you're fat and you want to lose weight, you just tell yourself you're fat. But what he said is be honest with yourself. If you're not where you want to be financially, look, you're financially not where you need to be, right? And you need to learn how to change that. So it's up to you to make it happen, right? And that means you've got to choose your accountability partner. So he said he writes that stuff out and puts that right in front of his face. So that's the way it works for him. So it's just accountability mirror. That's one of the things he does. It's a phenomenal book. Definitely not for the faint of heart. because it's super direct. But it may be something, if you need that drive and that charge, it's something. Okay, so as a group here, we are to give people information to help you have success. And then hopefully you share that stuff with us. There's a group we have called the Biohack Body. If you're not part of that, let us know. We'll put you in that group. And it's a place where, again, we've spent some time helping educate and motivate people to help them have success. So this is your homework to set yourself up for the new year. Okay. And then let us know. Like if, hey, my goal is this, great. Send a message in the Biohack Body. Hey, what about if I want to focus on finance? What's a couple of good books? Or who are a couple of good mentors? Or if you want to focus on physical health, hey, what are a couple of mentors? What are a couple of good books? Right? Or, hey, I'm looking for an accountability partner. Great. Post, I'm looking for an accountability partner. That's what we want. We want that community to be a part of someone that's going to help us be well, get well, and stay well. All right. So I hope you guys had a phenomenal, Christmas. Hope you're looking forward to 2021, and not because COVID's over. Yeah, COVID's not over, but the trap that anything has on your mind could be over based upon what you choose to do. It's a state of mind more than a state of being. So it's up to you to decide what you're going to do and what you're going to focus on, and putting yourself in a place where you can be successful. So what drags you down. It's time to remove yourself from those things that drag you down and remove the excuses, and connect into groups and individuals that are not part of that drama, but are part of the experience of moving forward. All right. So that's what I got. Share this message with anybody you feel like will resonate with, and let's move all of us forward, right? Move all of us forward. Because if all of us are better in any one of these, we're all better individually and all better together. So thanks for being part of this. And again, next Wednesday will be the first one, and we're going to focus on, again, a lot of it on the physical aspect of getting well and being well and staying well, and give you some tools that you can start immediately, whether it comes from a diet, or looking at what supplements do I add in at that time that could be influential in helping reset my body, and specifically cravings. That's what I'm going to focus on next week. Okay. And after that, we're going to go from foods to a few other things. All right. You guys have a phenomenal evening, and we'll kind of pause the recording now and just ask any questions you want.
Thanks for watching. And remember, one change can have an enormous effect. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell and the like, and we'll see you next time on Love to Live.